With the recent ladder reset in Magic, I've been playing some decks that will help me make the climb a little bit quicker, and that means faster games in the best of one format, and unfortunately that means also playing mono red. I know that it's not everyone's cup of tea, and sometimes it's even not my cup of tea, but it's hard to argue with its effectiveness because when you're trying to jam as many games as possible, winning fast or losing fast is very attractive. There is a time component to ladder grinding. So this is the updated list. I know I've posted a video in the past. This is the one that I've been running currently. I have removed the Phoenixes and opted for some more card draw and some more direct damage because I've been finding that my games really just come down to whether I run out of gas or get enough damage. And so I put in more gas and I put in more damage. And I've also been seeing a lot more Esper on the ladder, and the presence of the ability for them to exile the Phoenix and then that you just don't get the value out of the Phoenix that you want has been a bit of an issue as well. So I have taken out the Phoenixes from my mono red build, and this is where I'm currently at. So I'm still running Fanatical because of the haste and the ping. G2 Lava Runner is pretty standard. Shock, Lightning Strike, great direct damage. Runaway Steamkin is a powerhouse, both because of its ability to grow and also the ability to add more mana to pay for things that you'll get off of Light Up the Stage, which we'll cover in a moment. Pyromancer is still direct damage and another wizard. Chain Whirler, pretty auto-include, right? Like, it's almost meta-defining in many ways because it pushes out a lot of things with one health. It's an answer to a lot of really annoying cards. Light Up the Stage. So I am up to running 3 of these right now alongside 3 risk factors. Both of these do what I want them to do, but a little bit differently. This is guaranteed card draw, and it's pretty easy to trigger. Risk factor, not necessarily guaranteed, but it is direct damage, and the jump start is still incredibly relevant, and I have not had any problems with running a pair of them, right? 3 and 3 like this as of yet. I know that at some point there will come a hand where I just end up with only risk factor and Light Up the Stage, and I'm going to be annoyed by it. But it hasn't happened yet, and so far I've been pretty happy with it. And then I'm also running 3 ofs on both Skewer and Wizard. The Wizard's Lightning is nice because it's an instant, and you get the discount if you've got Lava Runner or Pyromancer on the board. Skewer, not an instant, but I think it's a little bit easier to consistently get the discounted cost because you should be dealing direct damage to your opponent in one way, shape, or form. So because I've cut the Phoenixes, I also, your mana curve tops out at 3, so I've went down to just 20 lands because I don't need to get up to 4 to play the Phoenix anymore. And this is what I've been running. And like I said, it's been effective for me, so hopefully this updated list will work for you. Again, some movement, some flex spots here. You could do things a little bit differently. This is just the one that I've been doing. Let's jump into some games, show you how it performs, and go from there. So we're jumping into some games with the red deck so that we can show off the breakneck pace that it wins or loses at. And this seems fine. A 2-land hand might seem a little bit scary at first, but the reality is the deck tops out at 3. And most of our cards that cost 3 can be cast for less, so 2 is acceptable. We're going to start with the Steamkin here because we want it to start getting buffed by our other cards when possible. And we're okay with playing before attacking, even though it's a bit mechanically incorrect, just because they were tapped out. Alright, and here we're also going to look to play before attacking because we want this to be buffed. So we're going to play the Pyromancer. And even though we have the discount Wizard's Lightning here, I think we want to save it in case they try to play a blocker. So for now, we're going to just go with a Shock as well. But again, we're playing it before attacking. because we want to get maximum damage in. Now, if we were worried about a flash creature, then we would wait to play the shock until just before combat damage was assigned. But in this instance, with only the 1 blue or 1 white, we were fine. So they take the Mortify, which mortifies us, makes us sad, because we were a bit attached to our Steamkin friend. Again, they're tapped out, so we're just going to go ahead and play the Chain Whirler before attacking. Again, not mechanically sound. In theory, you would want to play your card's second main phase, but I'm being lazy. And I want you to know. I need you to know so that you don't try to do what I'm doing. Now, we could be seeing Wrath of God effects go in at that moment, but we're instead going to attack and see what kind of answers they have. There's not a lot we can do about the Contempt, unfortunately, but that should still be lethal for us. They're going to gain some health, but we're going to get the damage in that we were looking for. And then now that they are tapped out, we can do 3 and 2 and get that nice, juicy exact lethal. And yeah, I know that's a fast game, but that's kind of the point, right? You win fast or you lose fast. This is the Talladega Nights of red decks, or maybe just decks in MtG Arena. So let's go jump into another likely very fast game and show off the deck some more. All right, game 2 with our mono red list, and again, 2 lands is entirely fine. Even though our curve tops out at 3, we have a 1-drop, a 2-drop. This is theoretically a 3-drop, but it's really more likely to be a 1-drop with 2 wizards in hand. And if we find that 3rd land, then risk factors are going to be a factor. I say all the puns intended. Now our opponent is going first. And they lead off with that Hallowed Fountain, so we're just gonna get this in as best we can. We are hoping that they have a bit of a slow start. There's our 3rd land that we were looking for. All right, I'm gonna stop being lazy. We're gonna do this right. You're supposed to attack first, and then second main phase play your cards. Our opponent is gonna opt to dig deeper. And I think our turns are going to be pretty straightforward for the next few. We're going to take some risks, and then we're going to take some risks, and we're going to take some risks. And with our opponent struggling to find land, I have a feeling that this is going to be a very fast game as well. Though they did find the fortress, so maybe not. We're going to attack first. And really try to get value out of our risk factors. Now, if we wanted 1 bonus damage, we could throw some Wizard Lightnings to pump up the Lava Runner. But we're gonna play this, I think, now, while they are tapped out. You know, there's nothing that we're gonna be able to play afterwards. We're gonna save. We're gonna save it. We'll give them the opportunity. So they're going to try to gain some health. We're going to punish them with a risk factor. Now this time around, we might play this second risk factor before combat damage is done, because that would give us a bonus damage, and if we are allowed to draw cards this time around, it might give us a land drop to allow us to play something else. And they did let us draw cards. So they exile our creatures, which makes us sad. We would certainly like to find basic lands. And then we're going to play our land per turn. And we're going to play the Firebrand. It can attack, but it gets it on the board. We can always use it to ping whenever we want anyway. But it's good to know our opponent did not like us dealing 4 damage to them. We're fine with letting this resolve. We're gonna see if they've got the dive down here, I think. Though, we actually may just try to go for lethal. We have 6 lands. And we have 3, 6, 8, 11. We have an awful lot of damage in our hand, so let's go ahead and do it. This gives us the wizard, which is important. And it looks like we're just gonna get there. So, alright. Again, very, very fast, but that's kind of what the deck is supposed to do. And since these games are a little bit faster, I normally, when I do deck spotlight videos, only do 2 games, but we'll play a third just because we can fit it in. And this will still be a relatively short video. So, on to the third game. Alright, we are jumping into a third game, since the first 2 were so fast. And again, this looks very, very similar to our other starting hands, and that's entirely fine. I think here we want to start with the Firebrand. It gets us more damage now, but also the Lava Runner will get haste later on if we've played a couple of instants. And here we are looking for Steamkin, I think. Again, typically you want to play your cards after having already attacked, but with them tapped out, I'm going to be a bit lazy. Curious to see if this is going to be actually Gruul, or if it's going to be Gates, because it's a bit odd seeing it in such a way. Couple of different paths that we could take here. On the one hand, I really like just pinging this, but with them tapped out, what we're going to do is we're going to use a lightning strike. It's still like as if we'd cast it face, because it's going to enable 3 damage, because this will get the buff. And it also means we get to play the Lava Runner with our excess mana. And that means that grows as well, which is why we played it before attacking. And then we're left with potentially more damage. Or we could risk factor. Or we could shock our opponent to give this spectacle. And then use that plus the Firebrand to remove it and then attack, which does actually seem like a great way to go about this turn. So we're going to go ahead and preemptively shock our opponent, which again will allow us to pay the spectacle cost here. Activate this to get that out of our way. And then we want to attack. Now, we've already played our land per turn here, right? No, I don't think we have. Let's go ahead and activate this now that we're done. To risk factor, let's be honest, our opponent's going to let us draw cards. They're not going to take 4 at 6. So we can do that, and then we can also go ahead and light up the stage for the spectacle, because we'll have the opportunity to play them next turn as well, and play our land per turn. And that was a very productive turn for us, and again shows you the power of Steamkin in this particular deck. I mean, it is a massively powerful card, so. we go right into discounted Wizard's Lightning. Into a Lightning Strike. And we could again use Steam Cannon, play Chain Whirler, and so forth, but very, very fast. Very, very powerful. Gonna go up a rank now to Gold 2 and continue my climb. So there you have it. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. I hope to catch you in the next video. And you got 3 games because they're so fast. So I hope you enjoyed them.